If you are replacing the glass screen digitizer or the display, then you'll need to use some heat and a plastic tool to lift the digitizer from the housing. To do this, you'll need to use a sucker tool of some kind. This is from a windscreen phone mount, or you could use a sat-nav one. If it won't stick down because the glass is broken, you could use some tape over the screen. You also need a heat source like a hairdryer, fan heater, or here I'm using a hot air paint stripper. The best temperature seems to be around 85°C. So try and get the hottest part to around about 85. Once the screen's been in the heat for a few minutes, start trying to lift the screen away from the frame. So using the plastic separation tool of some kind, trying to lift this screen away and gradually work your way around the outside edge. Try not to push the plastic tool in too far, as it pushes the adhesive onto the display screen inside. So try not to rush and just take your time, and the adhesive gradually separates. Once you have the top separated, you can gently move and twist the display, and if you're trying to reuse the digitizer, then just take extra care not to break it by rushing this process. Take extra care at this end of the phone where the touch keys are, as the ribbon flex cables come through the display housing, and as you lift it away, just double check to make sure the flex cables are not caught on the frame. Now you can switch off your heat source. If you're reusing the digitizer, we need to remove all the adhesive. The 3 touch keys form part of the ribbon flex cable, so they're not replaceable. If you need to replace the display or apply new double-sided tape to the screen frame, then you can remove the display by pushing out from behind. There's a small hole just here. So gently push from behind. That flexes the display up. And using the thin plastic tool, gently lever this away from the frame. If you use some heat, it'll make it much easier. And if you need to reuse it, be extra careful you don't break the display. Don't rush the last part. It's quite well stuck down at the bottom. So again, using your plastic tool, separate the double-sided tape from the display. If necessary, you can give this a clean to remove any marks. If you have a new digitizer, then hopefully it will come with double-sided tape already installed around the outside edges. If it doesn't, you'll need to place fresh tape on the screen frame. For demonstration purposes only, I'm going to use some 3M double-sided tape. This is not strong enough to hold the screen in place, so you'll need to use black mobile phone tape, which is quite cheap and easy to buy online. If you cannot get hold of the black tape, you could use EvoStick Serious Glue. You can skip this or any other part by clicking next at the top of the video. So make sure you cut a hole out for the secondary camera. And the proximity sensor. And now you need to cut the hole out for the earpiece. and make sure you cut the hole out for the flex cables to go through. Now we can replace the display. So insert the flex cable into the screen frame. And just carefully bring that down into place. Make sure it's sitting down all the way around. And if it's a new screen, peel off the protective coating. Now we can replace the touchscreen digitizer. So offer the flex cable through into the frame and keep the screen open slightly so we can remove the protective film. And just to make sure there's no dust or hair left behind, you can use an air duster. Once you're satisfied it's nice and clean, bring the screen down. Before you close it, just a final blast to prevent any dust from being trapped. So have a good look under a bright light to make sure there's no hairs or dust trapped inside. And once you're satisfied that it's nice and clean, you can start pushing the screen down onto the double-sided tape. Make sure the ribbon cables are nice and free. And just make sure these little sprung contacts are slightly raised to make contact with the main board. And now you're ready to reassemble. Thanks for watching. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll do my best to make some more.